In this video, we're going to look at a data set. We're going to look at the class student data set, which will be used in your lab 2. And what we're going to do is look at it, because it's a slightly smaller data set, and consider how we can address some of the questions in the lab, in particular looking at the calculation of age and birth month, given some information about the birth month. Now, the first problem you're going to encounter when working with the lab is trying to figure out which month everyone was born in. Now, the problem is that we've got the year of birth in here as well. I don't really want that. What we want is just the month itself. So if this is, December 1st, then it should just be December is what I want. And it turns out that it's fairly straightforward to extract that month from the other information. Here's how you go about doing that. You can do a quick Google search for Excel and the word month. Seems like a reasonable starting place. And you'll find that there's a function called month. So let's take a look at that. And when we take a look, we see something that returns the month of a date. Okay, we have a date. And the month is given as an integer from 1 to 12. Okay, so there's something in Excel built in that's called month. So let's try typing that in. Notice I put an equal sign first. That equal sign indicates that we're doing a formula, that we want Excel to calculate something for us. We started typing and it says, yes, we've got a month, and it even gives us the help about what it's going to give us back. And I'm not sure about the serial number, but let's just click on the cell that we want to calculate the month of, close the bracket, and voila, we have a 12 when the birth month was December 1st, 1994. If we cut and paste that into the next cell, we get a 7, because that was July. So what we can do is cut and paste that all the way through the entire table. So what we're going to do is copy that top cell, and there's a shortcut that's handy. Holding Control, Shift, and then End will jump you right down to the end of the file. We can paste everything in there, and we see that all the dates that exist have the month calculated. Now, we also see that there are some dates for which there wasn't a date, and yet we still have a number back. So we're going to have to fix that. One of the easy ways to fix that, let's give this a title first, is to sort the data. So we'll highlight everything, and you go to the Data tab and Sort. We're going to sort by the birth month, because that's what's either there or not there. And we see that the birth month is all set up. That's great. I'm going to press the End key to jump to the end of the file. Sorry, Control End. And here we see all the blanks. The sorting took care of all the blanks and put them all together. So if we want, we can actually delete all these rows and not deal with them at the moment. You can always go back and re-download the file if you need to start from scratch. And there we go. Now we have a collection of data, and we have the month information. So what we can do with that is, again, select all the data, and we can insert a pivot table. This is straight from your acrobatic practice, because what we'd like to do is figure out how many people were born in each month in the class. So we've selected our data, press OK. Then we can do various things here. Different acrobatic shows this a little differently, so it's up to you how you want to do this. I think we just want to add up something. It doesn't really matter which variable. But the idea is we're going to get row labels that are the month, and we're going to count how many people had that month in their birth month. So what we see here is a nice distribution where there's only 8 people born in January, 8 in February, but 17 in March. And even more surprisingly, maybe, is down here in September, there's only 3. So you have to think about what that would mean. Is that 3 exceptionally low, or is it just one of those things that, maybe it happens in a class of this size? But that's the intent. Now that we have this data collated, we can ask questions about whether some particular result is unusual or not. All right, the second thing you'll have to do is also figure out an age. So we know roughly when people are born. We'd also like to figure out roughly how old they are. To do that, you might expect that there's something to do with years. So we could do a search for Excel and years, and in fact, yes, there are functions like that. Let's try to see what that does for us. So year of that cell, and it distills the 1997. Fantastic. So we'll cut and paste this all the way down to the bottom. And We notice, of course, that's not the age. If we're looking for age, this is the birth year. But how old is someone who was born in 1977? Well, it'll be a formula. It's now 2015. So 2015 minus the birth year is a pretty good approximation of their age, depending on when they were born. And we can cut and paste that down as well to the bottom of the file, just holding the Shift key down as I navigate. And there, we have the ages. So once we've done that, we could do a histogram, we could do all sorts of other calculations, we could find the median, mode, and mean, the big one, mean of the ages, all those kinds of things that we can analyze now that we have a computed value, which wasn't quite what we were given to start with, but is easily calculated using these kinds of Excel formulas. So you'll be using this a lot as you go through the course, and it's good to practice it early.